Hey, what's going on? I'm London Dagans and welcome to my YouTube channel where I teach new LLCs how to start, how to grow, and how to scale their business by using business credit. So if this is your first time on my channel, welcome, I appreciate you. And let's jump right into the video because this is gonna be a very interesting video. You're gonna learn a lot, I can guarantee it. I wanna say some things up. So let's dive right into it. All right, so if you're new to building business credit or you've been building business credit for a while, but you're stuck and you wonder why when you go to these financial institutions, when you go to these banks, they're not willing to give you a loan. Well, I'm gonna break down why you can't get a loan, why you can't get unsecured business credit, why you can't get lines of credit with these different type of financial institutions because you're building business credit the wrong way. Right? So let's break that down. Now, I'm gonna shake it up a little bit because what I'm about to tell you next is about to blow your mind because I know you've been building business credit the wrong way this entire time because you've been going on platforms like YouTube, you're going on TikTok, you've been going on any type of social media and they've been telling you to build business credit by using net 30 accounts. I'm here to tell you right now, net 30 accounts are garbage when you're trying to grow and scale your business through funding. Notice I said funding, which is cash, which is money. So let me break that down. There's two different type of ways you can build business credit. Most of you so far, I'm sure that's been watching this video, you've been building business credit the traditional way by using net 30 accounts, right? Going through tier 1, going through tier 2, going to tier 3 and tier 4, etc. Which means you've been going to the Uline, you've been going to Granger, you've been going to Quill, and you've been building business credit with those different types of company. Let me pause there because let me break down exactly what is business credit before I move forward. For those who don't know, because I'm sure it's probably a lot of beginners who's watching your channel right now. Now, business credit is when you go to other companies and you open up lines of credit with those companies, right? Based on the structure of my business, based on the foundation of my business, based on my business credit profile. Now, this can be a new LLC, this can be an established LLC, but all I'm doing is going to other companies and I'm opening up lines of credit with those companies. I'm going to a Granger, I'm going to a Quill, I'm going to a Uline, I'm going to a Crown Office Supplies, and I'm opening up lines of credit with these companies, meaning I'm building a relationship through a net 30, through a net 60, through a net 90, whatever the term is, I'm building a relationship with that company. That's the traditional way of how you've been building business credit. And you've been going to different type of tiers, right? Tier 1, again, the Quill, the Granger, Uline. Tier 2, maybe now you're getting gas cards. Maybe now you've been promoted to office supplies. Now then after that, maybe you're getting revolving credit like a Dell, a Home Depot, a Sam's Club. Then maybe now tier 4, maybe you're getting a car. So you've been building business credit that way. Now, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. That way is the trash way. Building business credit that way, you're doing yourself a disservice. You limited yourself. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because there are two different types of business trade lines. Just like when it comes to the personal credit, there's different types of trade lines. You have your revolving trade line, which means you have your credit cards, your lines of credit, you have your charge cards, you have your department cards, you have your medical cards, right? You have those different types of revolving trade lines. Anything that does not have a fixed interest and a fixed principal rate is called revolving trade line on the personal side. Also on the personal side, you have your installment, which is the opposite. Anything that does have a fixed interest and a fixed principal rate, such as a mortgage loan, a car loan, student loans, personal loans, etc. Those are all installment trade lines. Now, let's go back to the business trade lines. Business trade line, you have two different types of trade lines. You have your vendor trade lines, which I just got through explaining to you how you've been building business credit this a whole entire time, not realizing that you're primarily wasting your time. You are. You're wasting your time building a loan when it comes to the vendor trade lines. What is the vendor trade lines? Well, the net 30 accounts, such as the Granger, the Uline, the Quill, etc. Right? So that's the first way you've been building business credit, and you wonder why you can't get a business loan. Because banks do not care about vendors and supplier trade lines. Banks do not care about your 80 payday score. I know that may come to a shock to most of you. It's because you've been building business credit. People have been telling you to, hey, you know what? All you got to do is build up your 80 payday score. You can go to these financial institutions. You can go to these banks, and they will give you $100,000 in business credit and business funding, which is absolutely ridiculous. Here's why. Did you know you can get an 80 payday score by having one account with Uline, a $100 line of credit with Uline? You pay your bills on time for that first 30 days. You look up, you got an 80 payday score. Now think about this. Why will the banks lend you $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, all the way up to $100,000 with one account, which is a $100 limit, because you got a Uline account, and now you look up, you got an 80 payday score? That sounds ridiculous, and it should sound ridiculous to you. Put yourself in the bank's shoes. Why would they lend you any type of line of credit, any type of credit line based on that one account? It makes no sense. So don't get fooled, don't get bamboozled by a different type of people telling you that you can get qualified for business funding based on that one account. It's impossible. That's the reason why banks do not care about your payday score, because your payday score only focuses on vendors and supplier trade lines. We got that? I want to be very clear on that, because I get that question all the time. Oh, how about I just build up my payday score and I can go to these banks and I can get all type of funding? See, now you talk about two different type of concepts. If you go to my last video, I explained the difference between business credit and business funding. So what most of you want right now that's watching this video, you don't want business credit, you want business funding. So business funding focuses on another different type of trade line I'm about to explain to you now, which is called financial trade lines. Financial trade lines is a great way for your business actually to get cash, actually to get lines of credit, to get business funding when it comes to these banks. So when you go to a Bank of America, which is a national bank, when you go to a community bank, when you go to a credit union, when you go to a regional bank, and you're looking to get business funding, you'll get qualified, because if they see on your business credit profile that you have financial trade lines reporting, which is way more important than vendor trade lines. So let me give you some examples of financial trade lines. Financial trade lines is secure business credit cards, unsecured business credit cards, business lines of credit, business installment loans, business lease loans. These are all examples of financial trade lines. So in order for the banks to take you seriously, you have to make sure that your business credit profile is built off financial trade lines. Now, you do want to have a mixture of both. However, don't just invest in the tier system, because the tier system is not going to get you funding for your business. Now, maybe you can get one or two accounts, or maybe three on a net 30 side on your vendors trade lines, your supplier trade line. But that's where you want to stop. Then the rest, you want to start building financial trade lines. You may want to get an installment loan. You may want to get a car loan. You may want to get a secure business credit card. You may want to get an unsecured business credit card. So this is the great way for you to build a strong relationship with the banks, because at the end of the day, you are going to need the banks in order to start, in order to grow, in order to scale your business. Now, I hope that makes sense. So what's the best way to build business credit with financial trade lines as opposed to vendor supplier trade lines? Well, I would say the first thing you want to do is open up a NAV account, right? You can get a NAV account. NAV is basically a business credit monitoring service, where if you go to NAV and you get their business boost account, not only will you can monitor your business credit report with Experian Business, Equifax Business, and Dun & Brad. But you also can get a trade line. So as you paying that, I believe it's $49.99 a month. That's a business trade line, which is a financial trade line. You see where I'm going with that? So you basically killed two birds in one stone. You're looking at your business credit profile, and you also getting a financial trade line. The next way after I do that, I will get a secure business credit card. Get a secure business credit card. There's all different types of banks that you can go with to get a secure business credit card. Now you can, after that, you can go get a loan, a secure loan, an installment loan, right? So now you get an installment loan and you can start building business credit that way too. At the same time as you're doing that, you may want to get a net 30 account, one or two, also to build that up too as well, because it is beneficial for you to have different types of trade lines on your credit report, net 30s and financial, but primarily you want to focus on financial trade lines in order to build a strong relationship with the banks when it's time to give you a loan, when it's time to give you a line of credit. You want to make sure that they're looking at financial trade lines, not your vendor's account, because they're going to look right over that, to be honest. They're going to dismiss it. They're not going to even care about it. I'm telling you from experience. All right. So you can ask any banks, you can ask any financial institution, do y'all care about my payday score? And they're going to look you dead in your eye and say, no, we don't. So just be mindful of that when you're building business credit. So this is a great way to build it. You also could get a car loan, right? That's a financial trade line. So that's a great way to build up your business credit profile. You also can get a lease loan. So you can get all these financial trade lines to build it up the proper way. So by the time you go try to get a loan, now your personal credit is going to matter somewhat. However, if you build up your business credit profile in such a strong way, maybe on your personal side, you don't need a 720. You don't need a 700, right? You may can get a loan or a business line of credit with a 660 or below a 680 because your business credit profile is so strong with all these financial trade lines. So that's what I want to convey to you today when it comes to building a business credit profile without your net 30 accounts. It's definitely be more beneficial to your business. It'll build up a business relationship with the right people, aka with the banks, and not with vendor trade line or supplier trade lines that these banks really don't care about. All right, so I hope we got that. If you're not, make sure you guys are subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to bring more heat. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share this, etc. Yeah, and I can't wait to go to the next video. So thank you for your time.